So you've got this awesome brand, a logo you're super proud of, and you want to slap it on a dark t-shirt. Should be simple, right? But then you get the proof back from the printer and something is just off. It's probably one of the most common frustrations we see. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you exactly why that happens and, more importantly, how the pros make it look perfect. I mean, has this ever happened to you? Your logo is crisp. It looks amazing on your website, on your business cards. But the second you put it on a black shirt, it just looks weird. It's not just that the color is different, the whole vibe feels wrong, almost kind of ghostly. Well, you're not going crazy. There's a really clear reason for this. And here we go. This is the problem right here, in a nutshell. Look on the left, that's the original design, black ink on a light shirt. Looks strong, looks correct. But check out that middle image. That's what happens when you just flip the black ink to white. It looks like a film negative, doesn't it? This is that photo negative effect, and it can seriously make your brand feel eerie and just unprofessional. Now, this isn't just some random mistake. It's a classic pitfall in the screen printing world. It even has a name. We call it the photo negative trap. So let's break down the visual logic here. Why our brains basically look at that middle image and go, no, something's not right. Okay, so the technical term for what's happening is color inversion. But all that really means is that the basic rules of light and shadow get totally flipped on their head. All the parts of your logo that were supposed to be dark, to create shadow and depth, well, now they're glowing white. And that's what creates that strange, unsettling look. This analogy just nails it perfectly. Think about a picture of a person. If you were to invert the colors, their skin would go dark and the shadows on their face would turn bright white. They'd look like a ghost. Well, that is exactly what's happening to your logo. You see, you can't just swap the color. You have to completely rethink where the light is supposed to be coming from. And that brings us to the secret ingredient, negative space. On a light-colored shirt, the negative space, that breathing room in your design, is the white fabric itself. The black ink is what creates all the shadows. But on a dark shirt, the shirt itself is now the shadow. If you just make the ink white, you're telling our eyes that the background and the shadows are two different things, and it just creates this massive visual confusion. But wait, it gets deeper. This isn't just an art theory lesson. The problem is actually physical. It goes right down to the properties of the ink itself. The way white ink behaves on fabric is totally different from other colors, and that is the next piece of this puzzle. You see, unlike black ink, which kind of soaks into the fabric, white ink is way thicker. It has to be, right? So it can sit right on top of the dark garment and still look bright and opaque. But because it's so thick and heavy, it has this tendency to spread out just a little bit when it's printed. And for a logo with a lot of fine detail, oh yeah, that can be a total disaster. And this brings us to a super critical number you have to know, 1.5 points. That is the absolute minimum amount of negative space, or just an empty gap, that you need between different parts of your design. If the little gaps in your logo are any thinner than that, that thick white ink is going to bleed right across them, blurring all your beautiful details and making your sharp logo look all soft and bloated. Okay, so we've looked at the problem from two different angles, the visual theory and the actual physics of the ink. Now let's get to the good part, the solution. Let's look at the professional fix that makes sure your logo looks amazing every single time. So how do we fix it? Well, this table lays it all out. The lazy way, the direct swap, is just turning every black pixel into a white one. And the result? That ghostly off-brand look we've been talking about. But the professional approach, what we're calling the corrected version, means you have to actually re-engineer the artwork. The whole goal is to make the white ink act like a highlight, so the logo keeps its original character and just feels high quality. And bam! This visual just says it all. Look at the mountain range. In that middle version, the direct swap makes the shadows glow white and the snowy peaks look dark. It's completely backward. But look at the one on the right, the corrected version. It just feels right. The white ink is used strategically, just for the snow and the highlights, and the dark fabric of the shirt is allowed to do the heavy lifting, creating the shadows and depth. It's the same brand, just adapted intelligently. In this process, it's not magic, it's just a clear, logical method. First, we analyze the logic of the original design. We figure out which parts are meant to be light and which are shadow. Second, we literally redraw the design so that the white ink is only representing the highlights. And third, and this is so key, we intentionally let the dark shirt color do the work of creating the shadows and definition for us. So why does all this even matter? Because getting this right means your brand identity stays consistent, strong, and professional no matter where you put it.
It's literally the difference between a shirt that looks kind of amateur and a piece of merch that really shows off your brand's quality. If you only remember one thing from this whole explainer, let it be this. This is the perfect elevator pitch. It's not just about changing a color. It's about adjusting the artwork to work with the dark fabric, not fight against it. That's how you ensure the final print is both crisp and, visually correct.
And here's a fantastic little takeaway you can use yourself. It's called the squint test. Seriously, try it. If you squint your eyes and look at that incorrectly swapped version, the whole design just falls apart. The light is coming from all the wrong places. But when you squint at the professionally corrected version, the image holds together. The white ink clearly acts as the light source, and the design looks three-dimensional and right.
So this all brings us to one last question you should really ask yourself. Is your logo just a great design, or is it a versatile one? Is it truly ready to win, not just on a white background or on a screen, but on any color garment you can possibly imagine? Because for a brand that's built to last, that's something you really have to think about.